Alright, good people, it is the SMT and we are back with another video to discuss what is happening at Verizon. So we're all waiting to see what the Q2 numbers are going to be. Earnings is just a couple of weeks away, and we want to see if Verizon is going to grow or if Verizon is going to lose share, at least in terms of share of the gross ads within the industry. So is T-Mobile still growing like they were before? Is AT&T still growing? Is Verizon going to turn things around after a weak postpaid phone net ads on the consumer side? These kinds of things are what we're watching. Now, I've been in touch with some folks who work within the retail channels at Verizon. I've been asking them a little bit about what's going on in the retail space. How's business? How are the door swings? How are sales? What are customers buying? What are they doing with plans and perks and My Plan and home internet and all those things? And right now, what I'm hearing from the retail associates is Verizon has peeled back the promotions quite a bit. They have substantially reduced the value in their offers. And what I mean by this is they've gone back to a complete tiered promotion based on trade-in value of the devices that people are trading in. So here's what I mean by this. If you remember, when Verizon was doing its, I would say it was doing really well in its growth, they started that broken phone promotion. And even with a broken phone, you could get $1,000 off any iPhone, right? So if you wanted a Pro model, or if you wanted to kind of just have to pay the extra and get the Pro Max and those kinds of deals, right? All you'd have to do is just trade in a phone, and it could be broken, it could be not working. It really resonated with the consumers, and they grew off of it. And then they took that away and they stopped growing. And then they brought it back and they started growing. It's 100% connected to their promotions, right? But their promotions now, instead of being, trade in any phone, you all get the same deal, kind of like what AT&T does. They've peeled back. They've gone to trade-in tiers. So certain phones are assigned certain values, right? The more modern it is, obviously you'll get better trade-in value, right? So if you're trading in an iPhone 13 or a 14, you're obviously going to get more trade-in than an iPhone 11. Previously, you trade an iPhone 11, you get full value. The other thing they're starting to do again is the plan matters now, right? Remember before, you could get like the middle plan, right? And you would, be qualified for all the best deals like the ultimate plan. And they even had special deals for like the starter plan, right? You would trade in like an old iPhone, you could get the starter plan, and you would have 4 lines for $100. Those kinds of aggressive promos. Well, they've gone back to the plan tiers as well with respect to the deals. So basically what I'm saying is Verizon has gone from an industry leader when it comes to promotions back to the basics, what they were before the promotions, more akin to kind of what we're seeing with T-Mobile, where it's 100% connected to the plan that you take. If you want a good deal from T-Mobile, you got to be on their most expensive and premium plans. Right, they kind of changed the way they did things. That was never how the Un-carrier worked. Now it is 100% based on the plan you take and the trade-in device that you trade in. So, what does this leave us with? AT&T with the best in industry promotions, the way it's been for the last several years. They haven't flip-flopped. They haven't changed. T-Mobile's been going back and forth a little bit to try to stay competitive during some quarters, maybe when they're not growing as much. And then for Verizon, it's almost like, the first quarters, they always punt, right? We always see losses. And then they kind of do better in the second quarter, and then they really kick it into high gear in the third and the fourth quarters. That's where they do a bulk of their growing, and they look to be positive, net positive in their ads for the year off of the third quarter because of iPhone deals and, of course, the holiday quarter and the fourth quarter with Christmas and gifts and all of those things. I don't think they've really changed anything. If anybody was looking for a moment where Verizon's like, let's just be competitive all year, it doesn't seem like it to me, because the retail associates are telling me they've peeled back the aggressive promotions that we saw that, customers were really enjoying and upgrading for. And I think, unfortunately, Q2 is probably going to look very blah. It's going to be meh. Right? And then if they've peeled back everything and this is kind of happening in July, well, technically, it's the third quarter. right? So it'd be July, August, September. So it could impact their numbers. Now they may kick up the promotions again in August, back to school maybe or something, and then September, you know, you got the iPhone launch right around the corner. You know, those sales numbers will jump up into October and show in the fourth quarter. But I'll tell you what, man, if these numbers look weak and then now we're finding out that they're peeling back these promotions, I mean, what is Verizon going to blame their lack of growth on at this point? We know what it takes to grow, and that's promotions. And they've been unwilling to really jump in on it, according to these reports. We'll see, right? I don't think the sources that have given me this information would lie to me. We'll wait for it to become official. We'll get the sales numbers up and coming here in Q2, and then we'll get the Q3 numbers. We'll see. But put this in kind of your memory bank as a moment in time where, you know, we have reason to believe that Verizon is not aggressive like they were before. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But drop me some comments. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Like, share, subscribe. Check out some more videos. See you guys soon on the next one.